In today's video, I'm going to explain a game where I faced a Fide master when I was only 1500 rated. Underneath that, my opponent was rated 2300, and this is how I beat a Fide master as a 1500. Now the game started with me as white, e4, the Sicilian. We both develop our pieces normally. He prepares to fianchetto the bishop. I develop my bishop. He develops his. Normally the bishop doesn't really go to this square, but it's fine. Everything's pretty much fine in my position until I play this weird move b3. You don't really want this because your bishop can eventually be targeted and it doesn't really have a good square to go to. This also opens up some potential tactics with the bishop pinning the knight if I don't immediately develop my bishop to b2. So after castles, I just do this, and he pins my knight. I play the move h3, and he has to take because if he doesn't and instead moves it back, g4 traps the bishop. So takes, and he develops his knight to the center. I move my queen to protect the pawn. It would have been better to go back, but I didn't really like repeating the same, moving a piece and then moving it back to the same square, so stubbornly I go queen to d3. He plays the move a6. Again, that's why this bishop doesn't really belong on this square. So I play a4 to prevent this. However, after a couple moves, he develops his knight to e5. And now my queen is in trouble, so after I move it, he wins this pawn and attacks my rook. I move my rook, attacking his knight, and then he takes my bishop first, and then puts his knight on a very nice square in the center. Now, I have to try to get rid of this knight because otherwise it's a huge thorn in my position. And so that's what I try to do. And after takes, he greedily grabs this pawn on a4, which he shouldn't have done because after bishop takes, king takes, the pawn on b7 hangs. However, like a 1500 would, I do not take that pawn and instead play the move e5. He defends the pawn, and all of a sudden any chances I may have had at gaining an advantage are gone. I bring my queen up to try to pressure this pawn. However, he just defends it and there's nothing I can do. I bring my queen back. A better move would have been probably to bring my rooks up here, either of them, and try to put more pressure. However, instead I keep moving my queen. I give a check and I move my rook up. I take his pawn here and I move my queen to f6 with, again, the idea of coming here and try to checkmate him. So he attacks my queen. I bring my queen back. He doubles his rooks, and I go for this. However, there's really no attack because after I'm forced to move my king to h2, queen to d5 basically protects it, and all black has to do is not blunder in this position. Is he just needs to push this pawn and not move his queen from protecting this square. That's all he has to do. Otherwise, as long as he doesn't move the queen, I'm totally lost. I play the move g3. He pushes his pawn like normal. I move my queen up, and he tries to trade queens and blunders mate in two. After king to h8, this is checkmate. So before checkmate, he resigns and the game is over. That's how I beat a 2300. So never resign as a 1500 because you see 2300s will blunder this, especially in blitz games. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and I'll make more videos like this one. Thanks.